guys, remember the good old NES days? Remember that rad cartoon DuckTales? Remember that theme song? Well, guess what? It's back. Capcom doubles down on the nostalgia with DuckTales Remastered, contracting the veterans of 2D development and way forward to rewrite history by giving the well-loved NES game an HD remake that ends up looking shinier than Scrooge's #1 dime.
What's the meaning of this?
The effort spent on the presentation is almost uncanny. Scrooge McDuck and his cartoon cohorts could hardly look any more charming and expressive, which is great, and the mixed soundtrack does justice to the catchy and memorable tunes of the original. Surprisingly, you'll also hear the returning cast of the TV show deliver enough lines to stuff an entire episode.
Come on, lads. Let's head to the ice cream shop.
It's both impressive and strangely out of place. As talented and endearing as the cast is, the cutscenes often drag, interrupting the pacing of the gameplay. Since you'll want to be out there making DuckTales rather than watching them, you might just skip them altogether.
Oh, blather and blatherskite, I'm useless!
After an introductory level gets you acquainted with Uncle Scrooge's pogo-happy golf-swinging style of adventure, you're free to select your next destination from a list of locations. Each one holds an open level where you must search for a number of minor objects in order to unlock the way to a legendary treasure, invariably guarded by some vile villain with numerous ways to knock the feathers out of you. They may take a surprising number of pogo blows to the skull, but the updated boss battles are generally fun and well-designed, offering just the right amount of challenge. Even though you have specific objectives to complete, such as retrieving the scattered pieces of an aircraft component in the Himalayas, the levels give Scrooge a nice sense of freedom. You can go where you want in search of diamonds and rubies that add to your wealth. The springy pogo jump just never gets old, and the lure of riches makes it hard to resist uncovering hidden items and secret paths by continually bouncing and prodding around the screen. There's a great sense of discovery here, despite the fact that you can always just check your map for the next objective.
With a little help from your old pal, Launchpad McQuack.
The level of difficulty is far from extreme. In fact, sometimes the game can feel like a breeze. But there are certainly tricky areas where you'll have to think before you bounce. You'll definitely need some skill, but patience is also a virtue whenever a bottomless pit is near. You don't need to completely master the entire game before reaching the ending, since your progress is saved every time you complete a stage, but losing too many lives will hurt your chances of besting the boss and walking away with your loot. So there's still some feeling of pushing your luck to satisfy your greed. DuckTales Remastered uses the same basic level layouts, game mechanics, and ideas, but everything here is at least a little bit different than the original. Things feel a bit more straightforward in the remake, and maybe the sense of mystery has been somewhat diminished, but there are also some very worthwhile additions to the NES original. The best of the added material strengthens the game's finale, and relieves some of the repetition of the original, an unmistakable improvement.
Hey, wait a minute. Something's screwy.
In other ways, the game seems to miss the point. Instead of tallying up your accumulated millions at the end of the game, or challenging you to maximize your material gains for a better ending, you're asked to spend your hard-earned cash on concept art and other frivolous extras. It's just kind of hard to imagine Scrooge would drop hundreds of thousands of dollars on a picture of the Beagle Boys. DuckTales Remastered is clearly made with care and considerable skill, but it might actually have a little too much love for its source material. It looks and sounds great, but the huge effort spent to tell a story in the same voice as the TV show gives it the unbalanced feel of a fan project. There's plenty of fun and appeal in this new DuckTales, though, and let it never be said that Scrooge McDuck doesn't deserve just a bit more time in the spotlight.